Well, it is time to talk about a mistake that I made within the world of day trading as I decided to play with some fire today. And when I say today, I mean as of the recording of this video. I want to do it right now because it's still all fresh on my mind. And that way I can share with you just kind of what I was feeling, what I was going through, and how it brought me to a place where we don't want to be as a day trader. And it's just a very dangerous place. And it's totally playing with fire. Now, I am talking vaguely right now because I want to see if you can recognize what this poor decision was. I want to start off first with just the context, what happened that brought me to the moment where I decided to pull out the matches and gasoline. And then I want to see if you can recognize what the gasoline and matches actually were. So let's go back to the start. And how did I get to this point of deciding to pull out some matches? So it actually all started with this $2,000 losing trade. So you can see I bought right here for $150, and then when I sold, it was for $130, which equates to a $2,000 loss. Now you could be thinking, wait a second, that math doesn't add up. I was doing options and I don't want to go down the rabbit hole because it's not an options video, but the way options work and the way the math worked out, yes, what you saw there did equate to a $2,000 loss. However, this was not the thing that actually kind of set me over the edge. Well, I guess in a secondary way it did, but what really set me over the edge was this. There was a moment within the trade where I was like, okay, let me just go for a $100 loss. So I put out the order trying to just go for a $100 loss. The price moved down a little bit, and then based on how options work, the price moved a little quicker, and I thought, okay, and I panicked. For those of you that have watched past videos, you've heard me talk about loss control mode. And within loss control mode, you don't want to do what I did. I panicked and I just ended up selling the bid. And I'm pretty sure I sold at literally the worst time. Like I was that guy that sold at the worst time. And I took that $2,000 loss. But then let's see what happened. And then a little bit more context. I was playing put options, which just means I wanted the price to go down. So if prices go up, that was actually bad for me. But if prices went down, that would be good for me. So when I got out, it was, like I said, essentially right there. I basically got out at the worst possible moment. Again, because I want prices to go down. So if prices go up, that is bad. And I got out, like I said, right there at basically the worst possible time. And then look what happened with the next candle. The price did indeed come down. That would have actually had me in the green, but that's besides the point because I should have been in loss control mode, which I was, and that move right here would have given me a $100 loss. Yet you saw what I actually had, a $2,000 loss. So there I was looking at a $2,000 loss when had I just followed the protocol, it would have been a $100 loss, which just sent me into And it was at this moment I decided to, you know what? Let's get some gasoline. Let's get some matches. So I'm going to show you the rest of the trades I made on the day. And I want to just, like I said, challenge you. Do you see anything that stands out to you? And you're like, wait a second. That looks like not a good decision. So here are the remaining trades that I did make on the day. And as you look at them, do you see anything that's like, yeah, that seems a bit off. So I think I've stalled here long enough. And if you don't see it now, you're probably not going to see it. But what hopefully you're seeing is, wait a second, what's up with the 5? You were just buying one option contract, but all of a sudden you decided to buy 5. And yes, I did. So if you recognize that, you're absolutely right. Whoa, Clay. So if you're a beginner in terms of trading jargon, trading lingo, your position size, that just exploded. You went from normally doing one contract, which is correct, to all of a sudden 5. Yeah, that was very, very stupid. Already being down 2,000 and then deciding to take on that amount of risk is playing with an amount of fire that is just absolutely ridiculous. Now, I'm not calling it a total degenerate gambler move because there was logic behind the setup. And to be fair, I was actually right. I did make $1,500 on that trade because it went $3 in my favor. And the way the math works out, it did make me $1,500. So it's not totally a degenerate move, but the fire came into place of, I don't care how good of a setup it is. In fact, I don't care if it's an A+++ setup. There are no guarantees. an A+++ setup can still lead to losses. And when you have that size of a position, way larger, you're already down $2,000, you're just begging to absolutely roast yourself, to set your account, set yourself on fire, and have a way, way worse day than what it needed to be. But now don't get me wrong, $2,000 is not exactly pleasant, but it's also not something that I can't battle back from. I'll get it back relatively quickly. So it's not like it destroyed my account or anything like that. But to think that I could have been very, very, very realistically, all of a sudden looking at a $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 loss if things had gone really poorly, that just unacceptable and very poor judgment, very poor decision on my part. But that is just those mental pitfalls that you've got to be aware of. It's how you can go from, okay, yeah, that's frustrating. Sure, it should have been $100 loss. It was $2,000, but you know what? It's still only $2,000. To then all of a sudden, you know what? Let's just go big. Very, very bad, very poor. Again, it worked out, and not totally shocking. It worked out because it was still a good setup, but still playing with fire because there are no guarantees. So I challenge you, I beg of you, because I've been there before where you go bigger position size and then the hole just gets way bigger. Don't do that. Don't do that. And I did hesitate. Did I even want to share this? Because what I'm a little worried about as a kind of an educator here is, well, I remember that one guy, he was really goofy looking, and he got frustrated and he upped his position size in a big way, and it worked out for him, and he was able to get back a whole lot of his losses. But no, that's a terrible thing that I've done, because now I've reinforced in my mind, well, hey, Clay, remember that last time you did that? And no, that's the wrong move to do. Just because you're frustrated, the worst thing you should do is be raising position size. If anything, you should be cutting position size when you are frustrated. And I did the exact opposite, and I did it in a big, big way. It would have been wrong had I just gone from 1 contract to 2 contracts, but I went from 1 to 5. Absolutely bonkers on my part, and absolutely a very poor, very, very unwise decision on my part. I know better, but here I am. I did it, and sometimes the emotions just get the better of you. And I guess I can't speak for all traders, but for me, yeah, the emotions are still always there. And especially when those frustrating moments kick in, it's just a very dangerous thing. So just be careful with that. Always be guarding your position size. Be aware of your mental state. And that still doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but I just wanted to share it with you, offer up the transparency that, yeah, today ultimately turned out to be a very modest losing day, but wow, I could have been looking at a much, much larger red day, and just poor decision making on my part. So do the exact opposite of what you saw me do in today's video. So that's all I have for you. As always, if you appreciate the channel, if you like this content and you want to just support the channel, but you're saying, Clay, I don't have much money, or Clay, I refuse to give you any money for your products or services, but I like you enough to at least want to support you in a free way. Totally cool. How can I do that? Just hit the subscribe button. That goes a very, very long way. But then, yeah, if you would like to learn more about what I have to offer, you can always just go to ClayTrader.com also. So thanks for watching, and yeah, don't be like me. First off, thanks so much for watching the entire video. Real quick, before you go, I want to invite you to a live webinar, web class, training, workshop, online event, whatever you want to call it, but it will be me live revealing to you what I've discovered that has allowed me to transform myself from being an employee to being my own boss, including how I had only 1 losing day out of 73 days in total. I'm going to cover 3 keys that have helped me unlock profitable consistency within the markets. The first key is super weird, but in a productive type of way. The second key is super awesome because it quite literally is wired into our DNA as humans, making it very easy to use. But in a cruel way, this becomes a pitfall for many traders. I'll explain it all though, including how to avoid the pitfall that it creates for some. And yeah, the third key, when you hear it, sounds way too good to be true, but it's not, and I'll show you how it all works. Then at the end, I open it up for a question and answer session that is, again, totally live. Even if you can't make the live session, please still sign up as it will be recorded, and you can go back and watch the replay that I will send you. Click the image on the screen or click the link down in the description box so you can get the date and time and claim your spot, which I should note is limited due to the fact that this truly is a live event. If you have any questions, let me know. If not, I'll be seeing you soon.